Colin back here for another vlog. It's going to be the third vlog this time. And today what I have planned for you guys is just a couple little odds and ends. I went ahead and did a couple things while you guys were gone. I went ahead and, I don't know if you can see it probably right there, but I went ahead and painted the intake manifold red to make it look like an STI intake manifold, so it looks good. And then I went ahead and painted some other pieces, which you may be able to tell. I don't know, you can't really see. But anyways, I'll go ahead and show you those in a little bit. And then lastly, I went ahead and threw one last coat of Bondo on the engine bay, and we got to sand that down. Oh, one more thing, I also threw a little bit of degreaser on the engine, and we're going to let that soak for a little while we do everything else. And then at the end, we're going to go ahead and scratch it all off with like a barbecue brush or something like that. So hopefully you guys are stoked for the next upload. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back. Back again here in the garage, and I just wanted to show you guys how the final paint job turned out on the intake manifold. There's a couple pieces that I couldn't tape off because it rained unexpectedly the other night, and my tape was outside, so I just went ahead and did the best I could and just sprayed it while everything else was not taped off. But it turned out pretty good. I'm just gonna go ahead and sand off some of these spots here with some high grit sandpaper so that you don't get any scouring marks or anything like that. And then after I do that, it should be all ready to throw those gaskets on. I actually did show you these. I got some gaskets here. Sorry for the mess, but I got an intake manifold gasket for the throttle body here. And then I also got the top and bottom of the TGVs. These are like tumble generator valves or whatever. They're basically like new age chokes, and those are right here, so you guys can get a good look for them. Basically, when the car is cold, these things will close up to restrict the airflow so that the fuel and airflow is a little bit more rich, which allows it to be a little bit more combustible. So I'm just going to go ahead and degrease these as well. Spray these. I'm not sure if I want to spray these red or silver or just clean them up, but I was thinking about doing the TGV delete, which is basically there's this rod that goes from the right to the left, just kind of right here. You guys can see it. What you have to do is you have to take these little end caps off on the left and right side, and take the valves out with this little rod in the center. And after you do that, you'll have these butterfly valves will be able to come out because you either unscrew these Phillips head screws and pop them out, or you have to shave them off with like a rotary tool or something. But you want to take these out, and after you get all the hardware out, you're going to be left with a big circle with this little bar on the inside. I'll show you the other side as well. You can see how restrictive that is. So you can literally go in there with like a Sawzall and just slice right here and right here. Just be careful of the injector hole. And after you slice right in here and right here and right in here, this whole little chunk will just pop right out, and you'll see that on this side there's a whole ton of space in there that you can free up and allow for better airflow. So you just want to cut all these out, Dremel them out, or use an air grinder or whatever, and Dremel those out, and then that's what's called a TGV delete, ported and polished TGV delete, and that's what I'm going to be doing. It should get you a lot of horsepower, and it's free. So that's one of the big things that I was stoked about. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Probably not today, in a future episode. It'll probably be its own episode, but that's kind of just wanted to give you a little overview on these guys. They're pretty dirty, so I'm going to go probably clean these up in this episode and do a TGV delete in the next one. So that's that. I'll get to some of the other parts that I've done and worked on while you guys were, or while I was away. As you guys can tell, this engine is pretty dismantled and it's got a lot of shiny stuff on it. That shiny stuff is all the greaser, and all that purple pink stuff is purple power, so I'm just kind of letting that soak on the top of the engine so that when I go back over it with like a barbecue scraper brush or whatever, it'll clean it all right off. So this has been sitting actually for about a day now, so it should be pretty good to go ahead and do it now, but I'm going to let it sit for the rest of the day and do it at the end of the day so I can get that extra little bit of degreasing power. Also, one cool thing is last vlog I was talking about not having a engine stand, so I went ahead and picked up an engine stand. I didn't realize that they were only 60 bucks, so I talked to my dad, and since my birthday's coming up, he said he'd pick one up for me, so that's pretty cool. I got an engine stand now, so I'm going to go ahead and throw the EJ on the engine stand today as well, and I'm going to go show you guys the engine bay and what's up with the engine bay, because that's what we're going to be starting with first, I think. So I went ahead and just threw a couple coats of light glazing putty on there. They didn't really turn out too good because I wasn't using the best application pad, whatever you want to call it. So I'm just going to sand it down, and I got some actual Bondo applicators today, and that's that. So I'm going to just probably throw in another time lapse of me sanding. I know you guys probably hate that, but whatever. I'm going to throw it in, and I'll get back to you when I'm done. How's that sound? Alright, so went ahead and sanded a lot of that fender wheel area. I'll go ahead and show you guys kind of what it looks like now. So, I don't know if you guys can see that very well, but it's not looking too bad. I went ahead and threw some of that finish glazing putty. It's that darker red stuff that you guys might have seen in the time lapse. I suck at doing this, but anyways, I went ahead and threw some of that on there, sanded it off, and then now I'm going to go ahead and throw a coat of paint on it, and hopefully that'll fill up some of the small gaps, and then I'll go sand it one more time, and after I sand it the last time, we can do a final coat of primer, and then we should be perfectly flat with no pits, no nothing. It should be smooth. So I'm going to go ahead and throw a coat of paint on it, and after that we will let it dry, I guess. So move on to the next thing. Alright, so now I'm sitting in the engine bay because when your engine's out, you always have to take the chance up to sit in your engine bay. So I'm sitting in the engine bay, and I'm going to throw a couple coats of spray paint on it, primer, and see how it looks and see what we need to fix next. So here it goes. Well, it looks really shitty right there in the camera. But it doesn't in person, and that's what counts. As you can see, it's starting to look really nice right here. Finally starting to get a good look of how this bay is going to look. I'm going to throw a couple coats up here too. Look at that. That's looking good. All right, starting to finally see some progress. That's one of the best parts about working on cars, is that after you work on something for such a long time, like, I mean, I haven't really worked on this for a very long time, but it does take a lot of patience to work on stuff like this. And once you finally start to see that end product come into the picture, it's just so rewarding. That's one of the reasons I love working on cars. Comment down below if that's one of the reasons you love working on cars too. So that's it's got to be for me. So that's what we've got so far. I think what we're gonna do next is probably start cleaning off those TGV valves. All right, so here are the TGV valves. I went ahead and got some engine degreaser from O'Reilly's. I know it's really not the best stuff, but they were out of that. Well, I got one can of it, but I used it on the motor. They were out of this stuff, or no, the good stuff. The gel stuff. Actually, I'm gonna use the original stuff. So I prefer the gel stuff if you're gonna be doing any sort of degreasing. That gel stuff is, honestly, it's insane how good it is. It works. So I went ahead and threw all that on the motor, so I didn't waste any of it. But I'm gonna go ahead and just use the original stuff on here. All you gotta do is just spray it on nice and thick. With these parts here, you don't have to worry about anything getting all saturated or anything. It's honestly better. Nothing's gonna get ruined if you get it wet. Just make sure you get it all dry before you're done. All right, let that soak, and then we'll come back to it in a few minutes. All right, everybody. So this is what I've got after cleaning it off and everything. It didn't really turn out too great, so I'm gonna end up painting them. I already have one painted, as you can see over there in the background, but I just wanted to show you kind of what it looks like after I've cleaned it as best as I can. It's still pretty gross looking. That's what the intake manifold looked like too. It looked, all these little pits and stuff from the iron cast, or the aluminum cast that it was made in, tend to pick up a lot of dirt that you can't really pick out with really anything. So I'm gonna just go ahead and paint it red. I went ahead and painted one of them red already. Here's the first coat. It's not looking too bad. There we go. Here's another picture of the coat. It's a little bit brighter in person. This looks like magenta almost, but that's just because it's like kind of in a shadow right now. I don't really have much light. Let me go grab a light. Hold on. I'll be right back. All right, so I'm back. I got a light. Let me turn it on. So, as you can see, first coat very light, but it's a lot brighter in the light. As you can see, it's not like a magenta. It's really a red. So there's that, and here's what the other ones came out to looking like. They're not too bad in the light, but in the dark it really justifies how bad the pits and stuff fill up with dirt. So there's that, and then I'm gonna go ahead and paint this guy right here with red, and then I will be right back once I'm done. Alright, so I went ahead and put the engine stand together from Harbor Freight. It actually turned out pretty good. I'm happy with the way it looks, quality of it. It's actually one of the better things that Harbor Freight sells. So if you guys ever watch Ricer Miata, one of the things that he goes by with Harbor Freight is if it's got a motor or if it moves at all, don't get it. But if it doesn't have a motor and it's just pieces you bolt together like this kind of a thing, or like the engine lift over there, then get them. They're good stuff. So anyways, I wanted to show you guys I got the engine on the stand, and I'm about to power wash this bad boy and see how it looks afterwards. For now, I'm going to leave all the exhaust and stuff on there just because it's holding, or it's closing all the gaps and stuff for water to get inside the exhaust. So Maybe if I flip the motor over and clean everything, which I'll probably do, I'll have to take all that off. But for now, I'm just going to leave it on. So let's get to it. I'm going to throw in another time lapse. Alright everybody, that is the vlog. I appreciate every one of you guys for tuning into the video. It really means a lot to me. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Also make sure you guys hit that notification bell right next to the subscribe button. That way you know when I post a new vlog. Right now I'm not sure what a good time to post is, so if you guys have a good time that you guys all like to watch YouTube, just post it down in the comments so I know what time you guys are always on. And what time would be convenient for you guys. So once again, thank you guys for tuning in. Take care and have a great day.